Okay, so now it's like February 14th, 2021. It's about 6:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't know. It's just starting now to show some light. So anyway, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay? And, the title of this video will be, why would you argue with your family doctor? Why argue with your family doctor? Okay? Because last video, what did I say? Right? They don't want to give me Shimei's and Sierra's medical files from a medical clinic. They're telling me to take it to court. Now, here's the thing. When Shimei died, okay, I eventually went and see my family doctor. And I brought up the subject, right? And, like, in my file, it has information to my nonprofit. Because you have to remember, I've been in this clinic for a long, long time, okay? It has information to the nonprofit, right? In terms of, this is what I work on. So, my file is... But most of it isn't related to me, people, because I don't go to the doctor very much. I really don't. I don't take prescription drugs, right, for pain, for anything, okay? I don't overuse the system, right? I'm not somebody that needs that kind of attention, right? I just deal with life, okay? So, I don't have an extensive file when it comes to medical issues, right? And so, but we know my eyes are going on me, right? We know about the pressure and the ringing in the ears and whatever, right? Again, I don't take medication for it. I work around it, right? I mean, obviously I'm getting older. I get tired more faster. And I'm raising a second batch of kids, right? One with severe disabilities, with limited resources and extra work, and so I work around it, right? And my doctor, my family doctor, this is about my family doctor. A family doctor, like, who would argue with their family doctor? Like, you go to the doctor and you're gonna argue. As soon as I walk in the door, people, and I see my family doctor, it's gonna be right, because when I went I know I've been slow on things, people, in terms of getting, information, freedom of information from the prenatal clinic, for example. In Shimei's medical files, it says that she had no prenatal care. That is not true, people. She had prenatal care. She was going to a prenatal, quote-unquote, clinic, okay? But they had to make Shimei look irresponsible and like a drug addict, okay, in order to move on to the next step of the plan, right, okay? So, they specifically listed at the time of when she was giving birth that she had no prenatal care. This is why in my lawsuit, I wrote down that things within her medical file need to be corrected, because that's not true, okay? Julian's mother worked at the prenatal clinic where Shimei went. So that's just an example. And, I mean, obviously you can see it upsets me because, it's that mindfuckery, right? That anything to distract you and get you doing something else while they're stabbing you in the back over there kind of thing, right? Okay, so when I went to go get, drop off the paperwork, right, to the clinic, to request Shimei's and Sierra's medical files, right? My family doctor was standing at the reception desk, and he was kind of like, no, you can't do that. And I'm like, well, yes, I can. And then the receptionists themselves jumped on that bandwagon. Oh, you can't do that, you know. And if you are, here's this form. You have to fill out this form, and you have to agree to pay for all these photocopies. Do you really want to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I do. Right? I'm submitting it. I don't care what my family doctor says. I don't care what the receptionists say. You know, I want my daughter's medical files. They're dead. Okay? And they've died under suspicious circumstances. I am being accused of being paranoid versus being suspicious. So I have to remind people that I'm not paranoid. I am suspicious. And I have the right to be suspicious, people, when it regards to Shimei's death and how it was not investigated, and then how it was investigated, and then how it was played off and forgotten about on their part, but not on my part, in terms of there is no justice for Shimei, right? And then there's Sierra, and just because Sierra, okay, was in a bad spot in life in terms of being homeless, had a history of addiction, okay, and had been in very volatile situations where her life could have ended at any moment over a period of years. In other words, she was in bad situations more than once over a period of years that could have created an early death, okay? Because you see, the thing with Sierra, people, is I always worried, seriously, just because of the type of lifestyle she was living, right? When she wasn't at home here doing well with Andre, okay? And just with what goes on in society and what we know about society and stuff, I was always afraid that she was going to be in some kind of a snuff movie, because that's how vulnerable she was to be lured into a situation where she'd be someplace locked in and would never escape. And anything could happen because people are fucking morbid, okay? And the internet and that underground economy has made it so easy for people to go off and murder people, put it online and get rich, okay? So it's not like it's not something that can't happen, right? And when you mix in drugs, right, and that whole lifestyle when it comes to the addiction, the exploitation of the human being, the prostitution, just, you know, the mind control, just everything, right? You know, those people that are trapped in that type of situation are at risk to anything. So, I always worried for Sierra to be murdered in one of those types of situations. I just happened to put the word snuff movie in front because if you're going to murder somebody like that and you're already living that lifestyle and you've got the networks, doing a snuff movie and making $40 million is nothing. Right? For some people, it just makes sense for them to do that, right? And unfortunately, that happens. So I have every right to worry about that when Sierra was alive, right? So when Sierra died, okay, let's just get to the point here. I'm just blah, blah, blah. So when Sierra died, first of all, none of us were surprised that she died because, like I said before, she could have died in the garage. She could have died in the bathtub when she was downstairs living in the basement with the kids at one point when everybody was trying to help Sierra to turn her life around, but Sierra was still doing drugs for whatever reason and stressing everybody out, and you don't, right? Don't know if you're going to walk into the kitchen and there she is slumped over by the stove dead. You don't know, right? Because that's the type of lifestyle that she was trapped into in combination with a synthetic analog that she was addicted to, that was being tweaked through the chemist, right? Just change a few molecules here and there in order to, continue with that mind control, okay? Because it's not simply, oh, do fentanyl and get high. No, it's do fentanyl and it attaches itself to the receptors of the brain to alter the brain. So, you know. Okay? So anyway. Oh, where am I going with this? Okay, so Sierra died. Nobody was really surprised. But what was surprising about it, people, is the way the cops fucking handle it and the way the coroner handle it. Okay? Ultimately, whether I sat in John's Hart's house and when the coroner said, oh, give us information about Sierra, and I said, well, all you have to do is look up Shamay's file and you're going to get, and as if these cops in here don't know Sierra, right? Right? And what does giving the coroner information about Sierra have anything to do with Sierra laying behind the door closed, behind the door dead? You can ask information about Sierra after the fact of allowing me to identify my daughter's body, right? And then letting me deal with that, and then you can ask me questions about Sierra. As if you don't already have a file on Sierra. Okay? So, you know, that's something to think about. They never even, the first thing the coroner should have said to me when she came into that place, if she hadn't already been there when I walked in, was, oh, I'm sorry for your loss, Miss Chorney. Your daughter is behind the door. I have to remind you now that it's not a pretty sight, right? Are you sure this is what you want to do? Do you really want to see your daughter before you leave? That would have been the professional thing for the coroner to do. And then say, but I'm going to need to contact you because I'm going to have to get some information in regards to who your daughter was. But no. The coroner had to make a big drama scene about it, right? Be a drama queen, right? So she had an excuse to get out, right? And then they punked off the family for about 45 minutes, half an hour out on the porch in the rain. And then they suddenly turned it into a investigation because something was suspicious was going on. But the only thing that the investigation allowed to happen, people, was for them to take her body to the Abbotsford Hospital, right, to do a forensic autopsy. So they had an excuse to cut her open and take what they wanted, right? Whereas if they just would have dubbed it as a overdose, right, then you know, they wouldn't have had the excuse to do the forensic autopsy. But you see, here's the thing about illegal organ harvesting. They take the body away, and with the way most parents treat their kids, right, in terms of, oh, they're dead now, oh, good riddance, you don't have to worry about it no more, right? You know, it is what it is, they did it to themselves, or they just feel helpless and don't know what else to do, right? Whatever the reason is, they don't follow up on their medical files. They don't follow up to see if their children's organs had been illegally harvested. Because nobody really thinks about it because it's being done through back doors at taxpayers' expense. Right? Shamay was blatant about it, okay? In terms of, they had her on a bed, for 9 days. But on the day they got her, within 7 hours, she looked embalmed and then remained to look that way for 9 days. Okay? Whereas Sierra, they didn't even give us an opportunity to identify her body because they distracted away from their job in terms of, you're the mother, your daughter's behind the door, she's dead. Are you sure you want to see her? It may be uncomfortable, right? Okay, but you know, it is important that you identify her, especially if that's something that you want to do as a parent. Let me see Sierra. And if I wasn't willing to tell them at that moment in time that Sierra, you know, whatever, who was Sierra, right? I could have said, well, you know, can I talk to you tomorrow about it? And the coroner just would have said, yeah, okay, and then went on her merry way and do whatever, okay. So they didn't do that, people. They didn't do that. They had to cause a scene, you know, create a fake investigation, even though everybody knew it was just a matter of time before Sierra was going to die because of how sick she was, people, with her addiction, being untreated, okay? And now I'm being denied access to her personal medical records, right? Right? And something that Andre may want, right? For himself, like I already explained in my last video. And, you know, something that may or may not help me to put Sierra to rest, depending on what I read, right? But I don't need to read very much, people, to know what's happened, because I've been through it already with Sierra, okay? And there's a lot of gaps in there. And even at the end of her life, there's this one huge fucking gap that makes me very suspicious, right? People want to know, it kind of in an exact term, what you're suspicious about. Well, I don't know. There's some crazy shit, shady shit going on behind closed doors, right? And being that I live in British Columbia, Canada, and we have the Highway of Tears out here, people, with Native women, you know, not just Native women, but a lot of Native women going missing over the years. Also, with issues with satanic freaking rituals up in the freaking, you know, through the residential schools, through some freaking nightclub or hotel or some big boys club, you know, like in terms of politicians and lawyers and that kind of thing, where, you know, they bring in, you know, Native girls through the back door that never come back out. Okay? Everybody knows there's a dark web. Everybody knows that there's fucking snuff movies. So just with the way the cops did what the cops did with the coroner makes me think that Sierra was in one of those snuff movies, if you wanted to be specific about it, but it doesn't make me paranoid, people. It makes me suspicious to think that. There's a difference. There's a difference between being paranoid thinking that, and there's another difference between thinking through suspicion. And I think through suspicion just because of the videos that I have from when I was on the porch with the coroner's car zipping up through the fucking back driveway at full speed practically to get the hell out of there, as they've got me standing outside in the rain having small talk with a baby-faced fucking cop that was 6'5", thinking everything was fucking funny, right? And then they turn around and they tricked us, people, right? After they basically criminalized us. Oh, get out. You're not answering my questions about Sierra. Well, no, I'm here to see a dead body. That's what I'm here for, not to sit there and start answering questions. You want questions answered? Go look at Shimei's file. Start with that one first. Shimei was Sierra's sister, for crying out loud. As if you didn't fucking know that when you came in through the door. Okay. So what is the point of this video? Yes. So when Shmei died, I went and seen my doctor eventually, right? And we talked about it. And I told him, like, something's up. I mean, I didn't really, you know, come to the conclusion that Shmei most definitely was embalmed at that time, because I hadn't done, I don't want to say research, but when I got onto those pictures, people, and I isolated an orifice plug in the back of her throat, I mean, like, that was it. It was game over, okay? I can clearly show that not only were her eyes sinking in, right, in terms of decomposition or whatever the hell, right? They put eye caps in. Just by the way the structure changed from picture to picture at different dates. All right? So, I told my doctor, right? Like, whatever. And this is what he told me, people, okay? He told me that he read Shimei's files. And that he said that she was dead before she got to the hospital. He confirmed it. And I said, well, how did you know that? How do you know that? He said, because I read her files. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to take it to court, right? Something's not right, blah, 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 right? And he said, well, you're in Canada. Canada is corrupt. Make sure you get a lawyer. And I'm like, yeah, okay, well, in the back of my mind, yeah, good luck on that one. We know how that one fucking works. But yeah, so, I come home. I'm phoning around looking for an injury lawyer. Nobody wants to help me because the only thing that they want to fucking represent out here are car accidents. Because that's where the money's at. Right? They don't want to do personal injury like Amari. I couldn't find a lawyer to help me represent Amari in terms of birth injury. There are no quote-unquote birth injuries in British Columbia, Canada. And if they are, they're fucking hidden away because I can't find them. Right? You phone up a law firm that has, more, like this clinic. It's one guy who owns 7 fucking clinics. So, that's like one stone got rid of 7 birds. Right? I can't go to any of this guy's fucking clinics if I'm going to go there posturing, arguing with the doctor before I even walk in through the fucking door. After the doctor tells me to go get a lawyer because he agrees with me that my daughter was dead before she showed up at the hospital. But for some reason, the hospital had her on a fucking bed for 9 fucking days trying to play her off as if she was alive. So how does that one work, people? If that isn't mindfuckery, I don't know what is. And then, so obviously can't find a lawyer. So I have the fortitude, the stamina, the balls, something to at least make an attempt to take my government to court, right? To hold them to account to what my doctor told me. So it wasn't just, oh, well, you're going paranoid. No. I'm not fucking paranoid, people. They took my dead daughter's body and they fucking did something to her and then they fucking embalmed her illegally and then they had her on a bed for 9 fucking days as I go to my doctor's office and my doctor confirms to me that my daughter was dead before she showed up. And now he's done a whoop and you can't have her files, and he's egging it on. And I'm like, this is when I'm filling out the papers, and I'm like, no, I'm going to do this, all right? And now they got the big boss on fucking board saying, no, you take us to court. And all I can think about, people, is all these parents out here that aren't doing fucking jack shit for their fucking kids. Seriously, man, right? What, your kid dies and you don't want to know? Right? And because of that, nobody's standing up and fighting back and saying, I want to have right to my children's whatever it may be that you're requesting information for so that you can put them to rest, right? Someone like me comes along and I become the fucking criminal. I'm the one that's fucking paranoid, even though I haven't fucking documented that on several occasions of the shady shit that goes on because of negligence and just whatever people do in terms of corruption for an end goal to make money off of dead bodies, right? Because ultimately that's what it's about, right? Big money in the organ industry, big money in the snuff fucking movie industry, right? Big money in trafficking teeth, people, so that they can put them in their fucking robotoids, right? Because that's what they're doing with them, okay? Or maybe it's sitting in a university lab so that the students can study it with their masks on. Huh. How asinine is that? Study the teeth as you cover your own. Okay, get back on track. So, all right. As a patient, I don't ask you very much. As a patient, under stress, I try and cope with it, I think, pretty damn fucking good. Right? I do appreciate that you informed me that my daughter was dead before she showed up, because then, it just confirms what I've known from the first time I went downstairs and put my mouth to her mouth to try and resuscitate a dead body that had been moved, right? And placed there, right? And, no, I can't go see a doctor, people. Well, doctor, why did you do that? If you're telling me, go get a lawyer, I live in a corrupt country. Yes, my daughter was dead before she showed up at the hospital, but I'm telling you, I can't get a lawyer because all the forces are working against me, including you now, because at least I can get her medical files in terms of here at the clinic, right? So that there might be a break in there and I might need them, right? Right? And he's going to argue with me. What's he going to say? That I'm being suspicious? Oh, sorry, paranoid. That I'm being paranoid after he told me to go get a fucking lawyer? He told me to go get a fucking lawyer, people. He told me to go get a fucking lawyer, like the bank of CIBC Bank said, go get a fucking lawyer, like these, go to court, see it in court, right? Because they know you can't do it. And because nobody else is fighting for their fucking kids out there, they know that they can get away with it when somebody like me comes along and tries to do it. Because all they have to do is put the word paranoid in front. Oh, she's being paranoid. Why would she want those records? Well, I don't know. Maybe it proves negligence, and if not on a doctor's part, then on a healthcare system part, right? In terms of that compounding. Why would you release someone out into the streets from jail after keeping them in isolation, right? But yet tell them that if they do drugs, the fentanyl is stronger and chances are they're going to OD. But here, we're just going to let you go knowing that you've got mental illness, you're homeless, you're this, you. Because they know that it's just a matter of time before they do the drugs within a 24-hour period and end up fucking dead. That's what they're hoping for. Because then they can come in and scoop up on the body. They just don't simply burn it and put it in the ground. They capitalize off of it, people. So whether it takes 1 day, 4 days, 2 months, they know it's just a matter of time before those individuals fucking OD. I'm talking about Sierra here. And there's a high probability that they're going to fucking die because they've been locked up in jail for 4 fucking months. So their system isn't built up, immune to the level of fentanyl that they're putting in these fucking drugs out here now. Regardless of the drug, they're in fucking meth, it's in fucking crack, it's in fucking, what's it called? Heroin, right? It's in fucking ecstasy. Like they got it everywhere. Right? And, I'm just bouncing with this. So she died. Nobody's surprised. She had 1,000 deaths already. I told you that. It's what the cops in the corner did, people. And now it's what the fucking doctor clinic office is doing. Okay? You can't tell me one thing and then when I can't get the fucking lawyer and I try and stand up for myself and I try and stand up for my family, okay? And I'm being beat up for standing up for fucking Sierra, okay? Why you want, she did it to herself, fucking let it go and, and she deserved what she got and, and she knew better and she was a woman and she could have changed her ways and, and blah and blah and you're fucking paranoid and blah, blah, blah. Right? So, but doesn't Sierra deserve a little something here? Okay? And if I can fight for one daughter, if I can fight for fucking Shimei, why can't I fight for Sierra? Right? Right? And if you're telling me I should go get a lawyer for fucking Shimei, why would you deny me her medical records? Simply because I don't have a lawyer. Is it because I'm asking for Sierra's, or is it just because? What is it? But how can you possibly expect me to go to the fucking clinic, to any of those clinics that belong to that one owner that obviously encourages his doctors to argue with his patients when it comes down to the rubber meeting the road, right? Oh, easy to tell me to go get a lawyer. Easy to tell me to go to court. Where have we heard this before, people? But when you find out that you can't get a lawyer, you have to take it to court yourself, right? Knowing that you can't really probably do a very good job with it because it's not your skill set. But at least you try. And the very person who told you to go to fucking court and get a lawyer because the fucking system is corrupt is the one that's holding the information from you, so that if you do want to take it to court with or without a lawyer, right, you don't have the reason, you don't have the information. So I'm like, well, I can't see him no more. I just can't, people, because the minute I walk in the fucking door, we'll start arguing about it. And because he's in a position of power, he's going to put it down that I'm fucking this, and this. So that he can cover his fucking ass. I don't know why he wants to cover his ass, because, he's never done anything wrong to me, people, outside of now he's denying me access. I'm talking about my family doctor. Because he can stand up and fight for me and say, no, let her have it. She's had it rough enough, right? She's under a lot of pressure, right? You know what I mean? She's having to do this all on her own, right? Because Canada is corrupt. If he can tell me that Canada is corrupt, go get a lawyer, but he can't stand up to his own fucking boss and those receptionists in the freaking clinic saying, no, Canada is corrupt. She tried to find a lawyer, but she can't find one, so let her have her daughter's freaking information. Chances are she won't get very far with it, because we know the court system is fucking corrupt. So even if she has the information, even if she has the proof, it's not going to matter, because once you take it to court without a so-called lawyer, it's going to get thrown out of court. So what are they afraid of, people? What are they fucking afraid of from letting me have that information without having to go to court? And I'm like, okay, well, what is it my doctor trying to do here? Is he trying to toughen me up? Is he trying to toughen me up, people? Is he trying to make me mad so I follow through on Shimei's lawsuit? With I don't want to say vengeance, but maybe passion, with that spark? Is he trying to spark the engine again? So that I can get through that last mile? In terms of, once I serve my government that notice of claim, I'm going to end up in a court setting without a lawyer, as my family doctor is now denying me access, people, without a lawyer, to my children's, 2 of them, medical files, as we have our provincial government locking up old people across this whole province. Okay? It's not just doesn't start and stop with my kids, man. Okay? All these old people dying en masse. Are there family members? Okay, there's a certain name for it. I have to get into the legislation. This is where I have to become a fucking politician. When I'm not a fucking lawyer, when I'm not a fucking doctor, when I'm not a fucking biochemist. Right? Okay? For all these old people that are dying right now, how many of these family members are going into the healthcare system and getting their medical records? Seriously. Are they getting them from the hospital? Are they getting them from the old cares home? Are they getting it from the family fucking doctor? Right? 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 Or are they just, oh, grandma's dead now, dad's dead now, goodbye, and not ever go into the files to see what the fuck went on? And if they're requesting those files, people, like I'm requesting my daughter's files, are they being denied access to that information and being told to go get a lawyer? See, I'm not just thinking about my kids. Right? I think about all the young people, because it's two classes mainly: young people dying en masse out on the streets. Okay, which we now know that medical clinics don't want to give out that information when it comes to those people who died out on the streets. Basically, right? The medical files to the family member, the mother, the father, whoever is in charge. In this situation, it's me. Okay? So, nobody's getting no information, because you heard it, right? I was the only one that's requesting medical files from a third party in terms of, I'm the mother, my children are dead, I want my children's medical files. They're saying no because they're entitled to their privacy, even though I've got a fucking doctor telling me that my daughter was dead before she showed up and that I should go get a lawyer, and because this is Canada and it's fucking corrupt. And now that I can't get a fucking lawyer and I took it the extra mile, I filed the shit myself, I want those papers before I go into court, people, so that when the government comes back, if they should stand up and do the right fucking thing, and with their copy, I want to have my copy so I can compare them. Otherwise, I'm only going to get what the government fucking gives me after they veto it, if they haven't already. Because I left it so long. Because it's not a road or a fight I want to go down, but I'm going down, people. I'm going down. I'm not like the rest of the fucking 99% of the population that just wants to say, oh, see la vie, you're gone, goodbye. Okay? Put it in the shredder. Put that shit in the fucking shredder. So, we know that there are no parents out there asking for their children's medical files, regardless of their age, in terms of adult children, after their children die because of homelessness, addiction, whatever it may be, right? Because there's a lot of that out here. Not one parent in the province of British Columbia, Canada, outside of me, are asking for those medical records. And because I'm the only one, I'm the one that's fucking paranoid here. Okay. All right. Yeah. Because everybody else doesn't do it, somehow makes me where I'm off in La La Land. All right. But we also know that for all these old people that are dying out here, people, you know what? If they're doing it with the young people and not letting people get those medical files unless they go to court for it, you know they're doing it with the old people, because they've even got more to fucking hide with the old people. Okay? Or people just aren't thinking about it because that's how fucking beaten they feel. Beaten. Because I'm like, why would my doctor do this after all this time? The only thing that I could think anything positive out of it, people, is that he knows it would piss me off, and it will give me that extra little stamina just to be able to try and follow through on what I need to follow through with what I've started already. In terms of serve the government that notice of claim, show up at court, lay your cards right down on the fucking table when you show up, and let the judge know that you're standing on guard for Canada. Right? And that you accept the fact that he's prejudiced and biased and have basically already been paid off. So, give it to me. But at least you're standing there, people. Most people don't want to even fucking stand there. Because they think it's not going to happen to them again with another family member, or it will just never happen to them, period. And therefore, it becomes insignificant. So we've got thousands and thousands of people dying between the two groups, the young people and the old people, and nobody's requesting any medical files except me after the death of that person. Okay. More reason to stand my ground. It just makes it harder, that's all. Because I'm not well. And my doctor, you know, he wouldn't really know. Because I don't really see him. Because I cope with my pain. I cope with this shit, people. I cope with the stress. Right? I figure like this. Be happy. Be happy. Even under stress. Be happy. Because don't wish for death. Because death will come soon enough like anything else in life. It just happens when the time comes. So in the meantime, do what you can now. And be happy that you can do it. And that's what gets me through. Perseverance, right? Pays off, right? Patience is a virtue, right? So, like, I'm like, okay, right? And this video, right? I'm like, okay, well, you know, since you want to take it down this road, seriously, man, I'm wherever I go, I have to take this clinic to court to get my daughter's papers. I don't know why the camera went blue. Hold on a minute. My screen went blue. I don't know if the film itself actually went blue. This camera is old. I've dropped it a few times, so it's getting fuzzy. I don't spend a lot of money on cameras, and these cameras I bought were used. But anyway, I don't know what I was saying. And this video, that's what I'm going to say. Right? I have to think about what I was saying. Hold on a minute. Okay, so I remember now. Right? I'm going to end it on this. Okay. So anyway, you heard what I had to say. And since I'm going to court, and now I'm going to court for a second reason in terms of making a request with to get my daughter's medical records from the clinic, or any clinic for that matter, right? And I'm going to make inquiries on how to put in a small claim if it's provincial. Small claim is $25,000. Because, you know, like I said, I can't go back to this clinic, walk in, sit there, have those receptionists stewing behind their desk, whispering among themselves. There's the troublemaker. There's the instigator, right? There's the one that just won't do as she's told, right? And then go into a room and have my doctor walk in and lord over me and critique me for not listening to him in terms of, you can't have your daughter's records, you can't do that, but yet in the beginning tell me that I should go get a lawyer, knowing people that I can't get one, right? Because it's a concerted effort between these groups that are capitalizing off of human trafficking through our streets when it comes to fentanyl or murder by fentanyl or whatever it is that's related to fentanyl. And then in addition to what's going on in our healthcare system when it relates to the elderly and how they're exploited and have their assets illegally seized and they're locked up like dirty secrets, right? So that the criminals can continue doing what they do. And it just so happens right? They're doing it en masse now with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands. There's 70,000 old people in the province of British Columbia, Canada, living in fucking care facilities, people. 70,000, you do the math. And they're all locked up under lock and key with none of those families being able to go in and visit them, never mind trying to get their fucking medical records when they want them without a lawyer. I'm just the first one breaking that sound barrier, it seems. Right? If no other parent has gone to that clinic asking for their children's medical files after their children have died, then what does that tell you about society? It tells you a lot. Or, if they're asking, they're being told no, and those parents are giving up before they even get out of the fucking gate. But I'm out of the gate, people. I've been out of the gate for a long time. Right? And that's why I have to follow through on it. Right? Show leadership, okay? That's, whether it breaks you, you have to show leadership. And my doctor has put me in that position to show leadership. Or be a bitch. In terms of, you can't, and beat you down, and beat you down, and beat you down, and beat you down until you end up fucking dead with your medical files all locked up and nobody fighting for you because it's a throwaway society. This clinic expects me just to throw my daughter's fucking lives away? After one of them tells me specifically that there's some shady shit going on and that I should go get a lawyer because this is Canada and it's corrupt? Okay. And then when you know I can't get a lawyer, I come back and I follow through on that shit. And then you turn around and you jump on me and saying, no, you can't, and get your boss involved and get all the fucking workers in the building involved so that I'm the one that's being targeted by fucking 20 people in fucking 7 clinics? Yeah, okay. So they can keep the status quo, people. So they can keep the status quo. So, I figure, and this is the point of this video, people, I figure if they're making me take this shit to court, since I'm at the courthouse, I'm going to see how I can file a small claims against them. Yeah. And try and ease that in with the rest of my paperwork. Why not? Right? I can get money from them to pay fucking the government and Fraser Health Authority their lawyers. Because I owe them money, remember that. Right? I was told that if I didn't step down, which I've never stepped down, people, I would owe Fraser Health Authority and their fucking lawyers for their lawyer time. I'm still waiting for the bill. I'm waiting for the bill from CIBC Bank. Since I'm such a bad person, right? Nobody's billed me yet. They can just tack it onto the fucking bill. And when I get my $25,000 from that fucking clinic, I'll give it to fucking Fraser Health Authority so they can pay their fucking lawyers to cover up what they did to Uncle John, to which that what they're doing now to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, 70,000 to be exact, in the province of British Columbia, Canada, old people that are being locked under lock and fucking key, families can't fucking see them, and it turns out families can't even get their medical records after the old person dies. You can't get an autopsy, an independent autopsy. You can't get the fucking autopsy reports, right? You can't get their fucking medical reports. What the fuck can you do? And that's the point. So, the only good thing that I can think about as to why my family doctor would do this to me, people, and then, I don't know if he thought I'd ever come back. Like, only a stupid person would go back after being treated like this. Seriously. But the only thing that I could think of as to why he would do this to me, right, and egg it on so that I don't get those medical files unless I take it to court, is just to give me that little pep fucking pill that I needed in order to follow through on where I'm at in the game right now. Which means when I go to court, okay, I'm just getting the general info on how to serve my government correctly so that they can't come back to me in court and say, oh, you didn't serve it correctly, right? Under this section, under the rules of blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, fuck you. That's not what we're here for. Stop distracting away from what the issue is at hand. Right? He just gave me pep just to fucking follow through on it even more. I gotta get sharper on my game. Right? And being that I'm there, people, it doesn't hurt to ask, well, if I gotta take a fucking clinic to court, how do I do it? Oh, this form. Okay, I'll just fill it out. Now that I'm here, being that this clinic is stressing me out, in light of what is in my medical file, in light of what I have been going through for years and years and years and years, and in light of what my medical issues are, right? Why would this clinic want to fucking stress me out like this and then expect to get away with it without at least me trying to fight back? So I'm thinking, yeah, do a small claims court. 25 grand. I don't need to go to the Supreme Court. I'm already in the Supreme Court. Right? And it's not because of the money, it's because of the principle. Because that money technically would be owed to Fraser Health Authority and their fucking lawyers. And if not them, then CIBC Bank and their fucking lawyers. Right? I owe all this money to lawyers. They're just adding it on, but they haven't sent me a fucking bill yet. It's true. It's true. I can pull out the court papers. You can see there's nothing fucking settled on either one of them people. And anything that they fucking did at the courthouse was all done through freaking deception and breach of trust. Okay? They're just doing what they want. So I hope my efforts help somebody one day. I really do. I really, really do. Because as it is, you know, like I said, people are just throwing away their loved ones. Not even trying to look back. Not even trying to look back, people.